Chaim Tikva called a couple days ago and said, Rebbitzin Fridkis called a few nights ago and said, what is a bas mitzvah? It's a good question. I don't know if anybody here really knows the answer. Well, that was what was expressed to me.
I actually said, what's a bas mitzvah suda?
Bas mitzvah suda, okay.
Different question.
Same question. What is a bas mitzvah suda? What are we doing here? Why are we celebrating? What's the celebration about? Why are we making a suda b'chlal? B'chlal means at all.
Whoa. That's what I mean.
So, part of the answer is on this card. Ruchama Dina has displayed. Got it? Really got it? Good. Got it? Zoomed in enough?
No translation.
Cut. Next. What does it say on this card? New translation for this card? This card expresses the words of the Stipler, the holy Stipler, Zecher Tzadik, we call this the Bracha, that's what the abbreviation stands for. The Stipler was Yaakov Yisrael Kanievsky, the father of Chaim Kanievsky Zatzal, the previous leader of this generation.
No, you can't press anything. Because I'm in the middle of videoing.
Children who grow up, and I'm going to go through this bullet by bullet. Bubby, so if you want to follow along and get a translation, Anki, if you want to follow along and get a translation, we're going to go through this card that Ruchama Dina has so beautifully prepared, together with Sarla, or just on her own? On her own? On her own.
I'm saying Sarla, I'm sorry.
On her own? She prepared it on her own? Or she prepared it together with Sarla? On her own. Great color scheme. Delicious taste. Children who grow up in a house where the mother prays word by word. Slowly, the children understand Gemara better, as well as Mishnah, more than any other child. Children who grow up in a home where the mother says each bracha slowly and with calm patience, they have better midos and less brazenness, insolence. A mother that prays every day and raises her eyes to heaven, her children are more successful than other children. More than any child's tape, which comes to educate children in the world, does the bracha of Shakolnia B'dvaroi radiate. The bracha of Shakolnia B'dvaroi can radiate more chinuch when it is expressed from a Jewish mother who says it aloud in her house. Children who grow, who are raised in a house where the mother says grace after meals aloud, they have protection from sicknesses and traveling collisions. And they have a tremendous protection in heaven. A mother that is constantly saying Hashem's name She says Yishtabach Shemo, Bezras Hashem. She says this all day to her children. They have the favor, the grace, which Yosef HaTzadik had in Mitzrayim, and also before and after, upon their faces. This is a mazkeret, and everybody should take this home and remember it and study it well. From the Bas Mitzvah of Ruchama, Dina, Manjol.
Oh, you take it home?
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
it's a memento. This comes from the Sefer
What do you want?
Chinuch Malchus,
I got it.
the education,
Thank you.
education, royal education. Talking about chinuch, I wanted to mention a couple of novel ideas that I had about chinuch. They're not yet fully worked out. I'm continuing to work on them. Chazal say that if a couple has peace in the home, then they are zoicha to have, they merit having the divine presence dwelling in their home. That means every house is potential for it to be a Beis Mikdash, which has in it the Holy of Holies, which is where we have the Keruvim. Keruvim are made of Zahav Tahor, pure gold. Keruv happens to be your great grandmother's name. Correct?
Esther?
Myrtle Charuf.
Oh, Myrtle Charab, yes.
Granny, which I think you met once. I also only met her once. That's something we have in common, amongst the other things. Her name, second Hebrew name was Keruv. Keruv. What does Keruv mean? Well, if you walk into Mayan, you ask for some Keruv, you'll get you some cabbage. So why do we have two cabbages sitting on top of the Holy Ark? No. Say it, Chazal, that Keruv, in I forget which language, means child, Kiravio. We had two children standing on top of the Aron HaKodesh that was in the Mishkan, which was a temporary dwelling, and in the Beis HaMikdash, Shloime Melech added on another two Keruvim. And in Bayis Sheni, where there were no Keruvim, because after the Churban of Bayis Rishon, the Aron HaKodesh was hidden. They had a painting on the wall of a man and woman hugging each other. That was to replace the Keruvim. So What was Shloime Melech's intention in building another two keruvim? I don't know, but I have some thoughts to say about it. Let's see if I can express them properly. And to replace the Aron HaKodesh, to replace the keruvim, they had adults, a mother and a father, apparently, embraced. So, what happened to the children?
What was his mother and father?
Whose mother and father? So, in Bayis Rishon, there were two adult keruvim, and then you had the Aron Shel Moshe, which had two children faces facing each other. We know that when the children are facing each other, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu has nachas ruach from Klal Yisrael. We don't know anything about Moshe, about Shloime HaMelech's keruvim, which l'chayra refer to the parents. They stayed still. They didn't turn in and out. They were never lifted up to be displayed. They were always facing each other. In order for children to grow up in a healthy atmosphere, the parents have to be facing each other. When do we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was happy with Klal Yisrael? Is when the children, which is referring to Klal Yisrael, are facing each other. We know that when the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, the keruvim on the Aron were seen hugging each other, which means Klal Yisrael had realized Klal Yisrael were in complete unity. When Klal Yisrael is in complete unity, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu is happy with Klal Yisrael. When there is machlokes and dispute amongst the children, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not happy with Klal Yisrael. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shechinasa are the parents, kiviyachol, of Klal Yisrael, and they are always facing each other, waiting to come back home. So we have the children made out of solid gold, and we want them to stay facing each other. But that's only if you get rid of the cabbage. If you ask Sarah, you hold something like this up to Sarah, and you ask her to put it in the garbage. She'll tell you cabbage. Okay? So if you get all the cabbage and you throw the cabbage out of the kruv, which is this jar made out of pure solid gold, that's the job of the parents, is take the cabbage and throw it in the cabbage. Every house has its cabbage. Depending on the parents, the children, everything mixed together. There's always some sort of psalus that has to be thrown out. You want to retain just the pure gold that every single child in Yiddish and Ruchama really is. Chach vonezem were adornments. It is so funny that Sarla, not you, but Sarla Menschel calls you Chach, which means an earring or a nose ring? It's neither of them? A nezem is a nose ring. A Chach is it's in Ruchama's Moyov. What's a nose ring?
Like an earring in the nose.
But it wasn't a stud, it was a ring. Hence the word nose ring, not nose stud. Okay?
Yes,
Be beautiful, be pure, be gold. Keep the garbage out, and make Hashem happy. How? By getting along with everybody. I recently was thinking about the following Maimer Chazal. It's very interesting. Koshin Geirim li Yisrael kisapachas. That's a very harsh thing to say, that Chazal should say about, I'll translate in a minute, okay? It's something very harsh for clients when there's a mitzvah, ahavtanes agir, to say about Geirim in general, that they are difficult people for Klal Yisrael. And that doesn't help us love them any better. I don't think Chazal were coming to tell us something negative. Chas v'chalila to say that Chazal ever said anything negative about anything. Chazal would only tell us something that serves a te'eles, and something which you need to know in order to have to deal with people that come into our community. Strangers in a strange land feel out of place. They need to find something to hang on to. What is sapachas? Sapachas is a type of nega. But there's other types of negoyim. There's the nega of baharis and bohak. Now why doesn't we talk about them when we talk about Gerim? He knows. The good boy, he went to Cheder. And he listened to his Rebbe. What else is there? Go ahead, name me 5 types of negoyim, no? He just said them.
I think he said all of them.
He said all of them. But he doesn't, now he's on the spot, he doesn't remember. Okay?
Say all of them again. Just said them. Say the ones you said.
Say sapachas, no? Kadachas and baharis. And bohak. Cheder.
No, sapachas and kadachas.
Sapachas and kadachas. So why is the sapachas? He fainted from being viewed by a Belser of Adam. He just forgot that the Bayri Olam is constantly viewing him. Please, pass out dessert. Please just don't pass out. Though he just passed out, so now it's his turn to pass out dessert. So now,
Why is there ice cream sundae?
Kadachas is with the Dina and
wow, Ruchama Dina. Chach, look at this gorgeous dessert you made. Gorgeous. So, why are Gerim Koshim li Yisrael kisapachas? There's a big taisus about it. There's a big taisus about it in the Safas Kiddushin and in other places. I'm going to share with you a couple of novel ideas.
It's pistachio and coffee. So you want only a pistachio?
Yeah.
I was thinking it could be, the reason why sapachas was used and not any of the others, because if anybody here has a Tudat Zehut, do you? What comes along with it?
Paper.
A piece of paper called a sefach. What's a sefach?
Attachment.
An attachment. So now we have the root of the word sefach. Sapachas is sefach. So what? Now we didn't say Gerim are a sapachas. They're just like a sapachas. But it's not that there's a sapachas for Yisrael and they're like the sapachas of Yisrael. I know I'm just making this a little bit drushi because there's other ways to understand it. It could be understood the way I'm saying it. That Koshem Gerim li Yisrael kis sapachas means that the newcomers find it hard to find their place in Klal Yisrael, because Klal Yisrael is darchel darchei noyam. Kudshe bricho v'reirais l'chatu Torah HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sorry, did you get the translation of Koshem Gerim Yisrael Kisapachas?
No, I understand.
That means converts, newcomers, are difficult. They're harsh for Israel, the nation, and Klal Yisrael. Like a sapachas, like a type of tsaras. Now, it's bothersome that Chazal should tell us something negative about anybody, especially somebody where there's an outright commandment to love them. So how can we say that they're difficult though? It's just a very puzzling statement. Chazal is obviously coming to tell us how we have to be able to understand them. What I'm pulling out from this is as follows. A sefach is an attachment. In Klal Yisrael, there's the Iker of Klal Yisrael. There's the Bnei Torah. Those have a Messiah Midor El Dor. What's more tasty? What I'm telling you or the ice cream?
Daddy, it depends. If you're eating whatever you're saying.
I'm telling you things that are Mesukim Mitzvah
Don't use your
Shloime.
words. Sorry.
Okay, enjoy the ice cream. Just I want you to understand, because we said that when the children are facing each other, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu is happy with Klal Yisrael. And that includes everybody in Klal Yisrael, including the newcomers. Gerim. It can mean Baalei Tshuva. It can mean anybody who's been estranged to Klal Yisrael came back in. It can mean people who are living in a different country than they're used to living in. A ger. V'ahavta es ger. The Chofetz Chaim says the Sefer Mitzvah HaKotzer is referring to somebody who moves from one neighborhood to the next, from one city to another, from one country to another. He's out of his normal. He's off his normal turf. He doesn't have a home team advantage. That's one of the hard things for an American to be living in Eretz Yisrael. A Jewish American living in Eretz Yisrael is very hard because he's a stranger in his own land. His own land has become a strange land to him. It's painful. You, Baruch Hashem, had the zchus, Ruchama, Dina, growing up in Eretz Yisrael. Nothing that any of your other cousins really had. You might have started. I'm talking about from the Menschel family. Of course, for these families, it's here. We're here. The Menschel family, out of the 6 siblings that I have, out of all the 7 together, I am the only one that's here, living in Eretz Yisrael, and planning on staying here. No mother, no father, no brother, no sister. It's tough. It's being a ger. How does a ger sound difficult for Klal Yisrael? I am. Okay. What can I do? Newcomers have a hard time understanding what they're coming into. This is nothing, it's unfamiliar, it's weird, it's awkward. What? Really? That's what they're doing? That's awful. No, but there's really a beauty behind all that awfulness. And just hard to get past the prickly outside. Get into the main core. And inside even the main core looks like there's pits and seeds and hard things that get in the way of you enjoying that delicious fruit. So, why are they kosher kisapachas? Because you have, we'll call them, they could be thorns, they could be the skin. There's things that are not the main part or anything that's added on. An additive is what we call sapachas. Now they're not the actual sapachas, the strangers. They are the Salah, I talk about you. Only blue? She means green. Oh. Strangers find it hard to get into the mix, into the middle. They find it easier to settle into something because that are black and white. Things that, each safachas on Klal Yisrael, Mami, can you listen? You've heard this already. So, I really don't want to say, spend a lot of time saying this. I'm being distracted from other notes. You're doing a great job. Okay. And I forgot myself the major rule, which is whenever I talk, I'm talking to myself. And I really mean it. I'm supposed to be talking to myself at least. I tend to forget. So what does it mean? So I'm going to forget looking at people, other people are listening. If anybody wants to listen, is more than welcome to. So, Sapachas is, there's always fringe groups. Sorry about this. But here you have a shirt, four-cornered beggar, and it's got fringes on the end. And you're going to tell me that it's not part of the beggar? You're wrong. They are. They're part of it. But they're the fringes. They're not the main thing. They're the end of the weave. They had to be tied into a knot to be held together.
Those are fringes.
That's fringes. Okay? That's where fringe benefits and fringe groups come from. Okay? But it's easy to grab onto a fringe. It's hard to grab onto the whole. So if you feel like you have to come in and grab onto something, you're going to grab onto the fringe, the sapachas. Okay? It's something that's not the main part, but it's definitely part of it. So it's more defined because I can see it. Whereas just getting into the middle, if you get to the middle, it's a hole. You might fall through. It's really scary. So that's a fringe. Fringes of the fringes. There's a knot in the middle of the fringe. It can get sticky, and you can. So the newcomer will come in and he'll grab on. He's not really the fringe, but he makes the fringe bigger. So having the fringes don't make this look very nice until you do something with them. You tie them to a knot. They actually look not so bad. They look like pomegranates, don't they? But it kind of makes this look ugly and unfinished when you have the fringes. Well, if this would be open, an open weave, that would just be open and not tied into knots. The fringes would look, they don't look so nice, but they're easy to grab onto. So that's a sapachas. That's a safach. And it's easy for a newcomer to grab onto what's more obvious and what sticks out. Now, usually what happens with the savachas is they usually grab onto one ideal in Judaism and make that their thing. Y'all can use your wild imagination to figure out what I'm trying to talk about. But there's plenty kinds of different groups that, yes, they're part of Judaism. But when you grab onto an ideal, whether it's just one. It's one of the many ideals that are part of Klal Yisrael. Neither one of them is the main thing. That's where the newcomer is going to find his place. He's going to find it. Oh, that's what Chazal I think are trying to tell us is the place where there's a machlekes in the Gemara is kahal geirim ikri kahal or not. Is a newcomer's congregation a congregation of itself or not? And in thought, we can say that there's definitely this defining factor, this common denominator that all newcomers have of finding their place in the fringe. And the idea is really to get past the fringe and see the whole beautiful thing in the middle and not hang it out on the side. Now, I'm going to stop it with that. There's more. But be kind to the newcomers, Ruchama. You understand? There's going to be, as Ras Hashem, lots of newcomers coming to Eretz Yisrael, hopefully in the coming days. Hopefully we'll see the coming of days of here, the Amen, Chef, King, Amen.
Amen.
Push the
Remember,
button on the
you're the role
right.
model.
Red button on the right. No, on the outside of the camera.
The only reason why I stopped is because my ice cream was